So that cost $18.72.
Welcome back to another Tesla-tainment video. I'm taking a road trip from the Bay Area to San Diego in my Tesla Model Y. Along the way, I'll show you the charging stations, go over my top 4 Tesla Roadtrip accessories, and I'll calculate the final cost of charging. Is it really cheaper than gas? Buckle up and let's find out.
Hey y'all, this is Johnny and welcome back to my channel. So last year I did a road trip video from SF to San Diego, and today I'm gonna do that same road trip. But this time, I'm also gonna show you some of my favorite road trip accessories. Stay tuned and see what they are. So it's currently 7:48 a.m. I have 72% or 209 miles on the battery, and the route will have me stop at Firebell for 30 minutes, Bakerfield for 25, Irvine for 10. I should get back by 4:21 p.m. I'll be driving basically across California. Let's get started.
So here's a new feature I just noticed. If you were to click on the supercharging station, it would actually give you a preview or some images of what it'll look like. So here, picture of like the pea soup, the charging station, and kind of like where it's looks like and where it's located. Also like a list of the amenities nearby. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of food stop at this charging station. There's IHOP, Popeyes, Carl's Jr., Wendy's, Del Taco. This is a pull-in, pull-forward station versus backing up. It's a 150 watt station. Some getting roughly 72 kilowatts. I don't know why it should just have me go here, which is 250 kilowatt station, and there's so many slots available. I am not sure why the Tesla routed me here, but this being a V2 charger, you basically split charging with the other stall, so I'm only getting like half the speed. That's annoying. Like, why would it just not bring me there? I would have charged a lot faster, and I would have been on my way a lot quicker, because literally twice the charging speed. Now that the car next to me left, my charging speed now increases, and that would decrease my charging time as long as no one else comes here and charge. So all right, just finished charging, and I should have enough juice for the next trip to get to the next charging station. So I'll be there in about 2-3 hours. So let's unplug and go.
I charged up 47 kilowatt hours and that cost me a total of $17.39. Oh, you know, spot a few Teslas being delivered.
The first Tesla accessory that I recommend for long road trips is a phone mount. This is great if you want your phone in your line of sight when you're driving. So if you get any like phone calls or messages, you can easily see it. It's good if you like to control your music through your phone versus the car's screen. The next charging station I'm supposed to go to does not have any amenities. So I'm actually going to change the supercharging station. Gonna want to go to Button Willow instead.
And we made it. There's a Subway, a Starbucks, and what's interesting here, there are a bunch of Rivian trucks. And that's because there's a Rivian charger here, right next to a Tesla supercharging station. It's great to see that there's more electric car enthusiasts, and Tesla has some competition coming up, so we'll see how the next couple of years unfold. My question for you is, would you prefer a Rivian over a Tesla? Let me know in the comments. The charging rate is 143 kilowatts, and it'll take me 35 minutes to finish charging before I can continue my trip. I was trying to get some coffee from Starbucks, but the lines were way too long, so I'm just gonna run to the nearest gas station and get a cup.
Okay, so I just got some coffee and Diet Coke per liter. So the second Tesla Roadtrip accessory I recommend is actually a tray. So this is great if you ever want to get some work done while you're in the car, or eat a meal in your car. So let me show you how this works. Basically, you have this tray, you cut onto the steering wheel, and then it'll act as a table. So you can go ahead, put your drinks here. You can either put your food here and eat, or I usually put my laptop here and get some work done while waiting for the car to charge. So pretty convenient. I don't use it too often, only when there's like long charge times when I would have to use it. But it's pretty clutch when you do need it. So for my third recommendation, I have to go to the back seat. For road trips, I recommend the Test Camp fridge. So this fridge is pretty awesome because it has 2 cooling options and 1 heating option. The first cooling option will basically refrigerate your drinks, and the second cooling option will keep your food frozen. So you can keep ice cream in here, ice, any other type of things. And the third option is the heating option. So actually heat the interior up to 122, so you can easily heat some food up or keep your coffee warm or whatever you prefer. So I'm going to the refrigeration option, and I'm going to stick in the Diet Coke I just bought, and also a Coke Zero can that I had. So another great thing about this fridge is that you can easily reach back from the driver's seat and grab a drink. Okay, just finished charging. Let's unplug and continue the road trip. Okay, so that cost $18.72, and I'm now at 84% battery with 244 miles. Let's get going. Gas here is $4.99. So the best thing about road tripping in Tesla is obviously autopilot. What autopilot does, it'll keep your car in the lane, and it'll accelerate and brake for you, keeping a certain distance from the car in front of you. You can actually set that distance with this toggle here. You can choose to be 2 cars away or up to 7 cars away. I generally put 7 cars away to keep a safe driving distance. But yeah, I don't know, it makes the driving experience so much better. There's less driver's fatigue, and yeah, I would not be able to do this road trip alone. If it was just me driving, it'll be very exhausting. But with autopilot, it's not that bad. My ETA is now 5:16 p.m. It was 5 o'clock earlier, but I think that's because there is a bunch of traffic coming up. Hopefully I can avoid the traffic when I get into LA. We'll see how this goes. All right, so I've been on the road for a while now. Just at 11:02 p.m. I think I'll get back around 5:30, 5:40, given that there's some LA traffic. So I think it's time to grab a soda from the fridge, and I'll show you guys how easy it is to access the fridge. Cheers. All right, pull up to the last supercharging stop. Again, there's a bunch of food here, McDonald's, Wendy's.
To continue the trip, I need to charge for about 10 minutes, or actually 5 minutes. That's kind of too fast, but all right.
So for road trip accessory, I'm back in the back seat. Mainly beneficial if you have passengers in the back seat that you're road tripping with. I recommend getting a rear screen for your Tesla. This is pretty cool because it allows the passengers to control their own heated seats. You can even move this seat forward if it's in the way. You also control your own AC. Also lock the car. If you connect the screen to your phone's hotspot, they can surf the web, they can watch YouTube, control Spotify, watch Netflix or Disney Plus. It's basically an Android device, so you can download any apps from the Google Play Store. So it's great for entertainment purposes for your backseat passengers. Really beneficial if you have kids, you want to keep them entertained on those long road trip drives. I think it's a great addition to the car, and Tesla thinks so too. That's why they added to the new Model 3, and why the rear screen's been standard on the Model S and X for a while now. For a great road trip experience for the driver and the passengers, adding a rear screen is a big plus.
Roughly 5 minutes, I got 74 miles added. It was enough time for me to walk to McDonald's, use the restroom, and walk back. So I'm actually gonna let it charge for a little more before I continue my trip, because I do want a little more juice in the car before I make my way home. So yeah, I would rather have more than 10% when I get home. I'm currently at 50%. I'll end up with 22% when I get back. Let's finish off the last leg of the trip. It'll be about an hour and 14-minute drive, and I'm ready to get home. 5:10, 114 miles left in the battery, and there's this beautiful sunset. Okay, so I finally made it back to San Diego. It's currently 5:55 p.m. So I think in total the trip was around 10 hours. I currently have 20% left in the battery, 61 miles left, and yeah, it was a long road trip, but I'm happy to be home. And I'll calculate all the expenses, time spent charging, and the time spent driving tomorrow. So stay tuned for that, and I'll go over all of it.
Let's go over the total trip time. I started at 7:48 a.m. and got back at 5:55 p.m. So I spent a total of 10 hours and 7 minutes on the road. How much of that time was spent charging? At my first charging stop, I spent 39 minutes charging. My second charging stop, I spent another 30 minutes charging. At my third charging stop, I spent 11 minutes charging, although I could have left in 5 minutes. So my total charge time was 1 hour and 29 minutes. Last but not least, let's calculate the total charging cost. My first charging stop, I charged 47 kilowatts at 37 cents per kilowatt hour. That cost me $17.39. My second charging stop, I charged for 48 kilowatts at 39 cents per kilowatt hour, and it cost me $18.42. My last charging stop, I charged 29 kilowatts, and this was the most expensive. I paid 55 cents per kilowatt hour, and the total was $15.95. The grand total is $52.06. I did start the trip at 70% battery. I'm not sure how much that cost me since I charged at my brother's house, and charging at home is usually a lot cheaper than charging on the road. I'm going to guess it cost me $10 to charge at home. Here are my final thoughts. I know some of you are thinking that an hour and 29 minutes is a lot of time spent charging, but for my charging style, I do like to stop every now and then because I stretch my legs or use the restroom, so I probably would have stopped at least twice on this road trip anyways. But the biggest advantage I would say is autopilot. The car stays in a lane for you, it keeps distance from the car in front of you, so it's hard to explain, but that drastically decreases driver's fatigue. Without it, I wouldn't make this road trip as much because it would be so tiring for just one person to do alone. That's just my perspective though. Let me know what y'all think. Is autopilot a great feature? Is it worth it? Anyways, thank you for watching and like the video if you found it useful. It really helps the channel out. Peace out.